Hello. Okay, that was creepy. Stripping balls. There we go, that's better. Hi. Guess who I am. Let's see. I'm gonna check our mobile app here. Here we go. Ooh, that's real. Are we not in the vertical? Default canvas. Why is that not coming up as full size? Alright, Fruit Blade. Trying to get the see which one that is. I might leave you guys. See. What is this? Are we on? But not connected to those two. I'm gonna finish this. Looks good. I'm just not sure why it's not showing up on mobile correctly. Maybe. Oh, there we go. Can you guys explain to me what you guys are seeing on the screen? My dude. My dude on the bottom with the little circle next to his head, and then the game above it. Hey, someone's the king. Let's see.
This September for Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Give them to Marvin. Support St. Jude.
There we go. Working on this all day. I know, mate.
Now we have products.
I'll come back. Good.
You can be here.
I'm gonna go all the way back to the beginning here. Yes, that's Nick subscriber. Nick Gamer, was that you? Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, so let's see on our mobile side of things. I should put that behind his head and move him down. What do you guys think? I'm talking about the layout of the design. So far, it's looking good. I just need to switch this up a little bit. Hang on. That is... make him just a little bit bigger. It's my dude. That is play. And then I'm going to move the rounder. Make it a little bit bigger. How's that look, yo? What do you guys think? Here some pretty back players. Alright, going through the test here. Stand by. How's that look, yo? What do you guys think? Some pretty back players. Now I just need to get a good filter for the audio for the test here. Stand by. Okay. How's that look, yo? What do you guys think? Some pretty back players. It was just last night that they shared some sort of footage. For a second, chat in the chat. All right, let's set up the stuff that's going to go. Don't think I'm going to do that, so this one's going to be called IRL. Stand by. There you go.
But that's where things stand tonight here in Utah. Yes.
NBC's Morgan Chesty, thank you very much for that report. Joining us now is MSNBC senior White House correspondent, I wonder what you were hearing from this White House about possible announcements, possible actions from the companies.
Right, Susie Wiles, the chief of staff, guys, suggested that this White House is already planning to release in the upcoming days a plan to combat violence. They know that that's very broad, but coming after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, it raises questions about exactly what was part of that initial plan and how will the president potentially try to broaden it potentially. We should be clear here that the president this morning gave his focus very specifically about violence and radicalism on the right and radicalism on the left, and he said that radicalism on the left was the problem, and suggested in her reply that radicalism on the right, the violence in the state, and it is seemingly to a certain extent justified because of major issues facing this country. And this was 36 hours after, just hours after that shooting. He had suggested that 4-minute video that he initially posted online. It suggested that they were going to investigate thoroughly everybody on the left, the lunatics on the left that were behind this attack, and those who fund them. It's not clear, of course, at the time we didn't even know who the shooter and the killer was. But I think that this goes to the psyche of the president, that years after years of campaigning on the idea that the left were full of sinister people and more evil than those outside of the country, I think that there are deep questions about what the president's intent is in these days ahead of Charlie Kirk's funeral.
And I just read from the New York Times yesterday. But even as lawmakers across the political spectrum,
Really?
everyone's determined to turn down. Some Republicans set up their key statements. They also have unresponsible
Around the country, for Charlie Kirk, we saw some people got worse that were taking place.
I'm getting a lot of feedback from, I guess, the
People to come together and in this moment and pushing.
I'm calling from the wrong link again.
When a friend, a loved one, or somebody of that stature is murdered. At the same time, welcome to the presidents of the United States and political leaders. And defining the best angels. That is what we are.
Let's see.
What we sometimes measure by. So the president of the United States is different. You know, he was leaving the White House. About the shooting, at least he suggested that they were going to go and to beat the House of the Democrats. Of course, one could suggest that that would be the balance. But then this morning, he was asked very specifically by
Stand by. I know that one image I just generated or whatever, I need to fix that. Try this.
Stand by. I know that one image I just generated or whatever, I need to fix that.
The assassinations of Melissa Morgan.
So, who are the better angels then?
Okay, I don't know what it's doing now. I'm gonna try it again. Something's really messed up with the audio. Yeah, I have it muted. Trying to use something. I think it's just all the background noise. Let's see. Noise removal, room echo removal. Yeah, I have it muted. Trying to use something. I think it's just all the background noise. All right, I'm muting everything except the audio, and then I'm going to test it. See if it's a backup or a background music issue.
Remove contact lenses before using my boat. Wait at least 30 minutes before putting them back in.
It is muted. All right, I'm muting everything except the audio, and then I'm going to test it. See if it's a backup or a background music issue. All I'm hearing is a goddamn TV.
Discounts at top retailers on dining, travel, and more. Join now to get your first year for just $15.
All right, I'm muting everything except the audio, and then I'm going to test it.
That's a great deal, but I'm not
See if it's a backup or a background music issue. You know, I've been working on this all day. Yeah, it's definitely feeding back through the system. I hate this technology. I'm running an NVIDIA broadcaster to try to kill the noise. I'm trying to run the filters in OBS as well. And no matter what I do, you plug everything in, or you get everything adapted to it or whatever, and some stupid thing is telling me that, you know, it's feeding back when it should sound just fine. I wanted to stream tonight, but I can't stream in this condition. Too much shit going on.
I never considered myself an alcoholic, but drinking affected my job, health, and relationships. A powerful medication.
Alright, let's see what or you get everything adapted to it or whatever, and some stupid thing is telling me that, you know, it's feeding back. Alright.
I was ignoring my hair because I was a full-time working mother, but luckily
Drinking affected my job, health,
I finally feel like myself again.
Erica, used car shopping doesn't have to be scary. Show me Carfax. Knowing how a car's accident history impacts price means you don't have to overpay. No fear, just Fox. Say, show me.
Let me ask you guys a question. If I'm running all my stuff through, or just my mic actually, through
Bolsonaro was convicted by Brazil's Supreme Court yesterday for conspiring against democracy and attempting a coup in the wake of his 2022 election defeat, creating quite the contrast to the U.S.
I'm just confused.
Where Donald Trump managed to dodge almost all accountability for fomenting
See if we
the
can,
Big and the January 6th insurrection. A new op-ed
I'm going to record our speech. Let's see how it sounds with the broadcast system software going.
Bring a former president who assaulted democracy to justice.
All of my Brazilian friends will remind us that this is a country that has seen a military dictatorship in my lifetime, and that means that the stakes
Seems
for
to be
them
working,
were not
but
theoretical. They were very, very real. They were high. And look, I think that a conviction is not a cure-all here, right? It doesn't mean that the polarization is gone that existed.
So this is running in the background. Okay, and then we go back to Wave software. And we look at
politics, if you will, his ideology, particularly in Brazil, particularly among evangelicals and more conservative individuals. It's apparent that he also has support here in the United States. I just want to note this is what Secretary Rubio had to say. I'll read a portion.
Regard destination software. Let's go, bitch.
Abuser Alexandre de Moraes continue as he and others on Brazil's Supreme Court have unjustly ruled to imprison former President Jair Bolsonaro. The United States will respond accordingly to this witch hunt. So, I mean,
alright, still again.
Support of what at one point was the greatest democracy.
God, this crap in the background is killing me, man. Regard destination software. Let's go, bitch.
Really important for Brazil to do. And the coup that was attempted, people have to remember, on January 6th, the people that took up arms against the Capitol to disrupt the decertification of the vote,
alright, still not working. So stupid. God, this crap in the background is killing me, man. Regard destination software. Let's go, bitch.
Well, I just want to underscore two things that Simone said there, Michael. Why are we talking about the story outside of the fact that Brazil is a huge global power and what happens in Brazil is important inherently? It's also
still not working. So
What
stupid.
happens on January 6th and the aftermath of January 6th cannot be denied, whether it is what happened from the legislative branch, whether it is what happened in the judiciary. This is a choose your own ending with a very different ending.
So
But
stupid.
the second point Simone made, it's also about the fact that the President of the United States has not only criticized these calls for accountability out of Brazil, it is not whether it is what happened from the legislative branch, whether it is what happened.
What the hell's going on here?
How is Bolsonaro accountable? In addition to what Simone read to you from the Secretary of State, you have the fact that this administration hit the entire country of Brazil with 15% tariffs over Bolsonaro. It is within the right of the President of the United States to criticize other countries, other governments, but to retaliate against them is a different from the Secretary of State.
I got none. Conviction is, the message is accountability. The Supreme Court of Brazil respects the rule of law, and they respect the process. And most importantly, they demand accountability. And in America, it just don't matter. They don't really care. And so when people look at this story, they say, so what? And that tells us a lot about generationally where we are here.
Tell me that there's... I give up on this shit.
Very clear. I mean, when you look at
I don't know what's going on.
One former president tried to overturn democracy as it was in that
I gotta
country.
stay online though if I want to get this thing working.
Another president did
Just to get like, what was the D-Link or what was the hot piece of hardware a few years back that I had, and then I ended up switching out to get a Wave.
Because Americans aren't excited.
Because I don't know.
On all end, Jacob Soberoff sits in for Chris, and he'll have all the latest developments on Wednesday.
What was the hot piece of hardware a few years back that I had, and then I ended up switching out to get a Wave. Because I don't know. What was the hot piece of hardware a few years back that I had, and then I ended up switching out to get a Wave. Because I don't know. What was the hot piece of hardware a few years back that I had, and then I ended up switching out to get a Wave.
Working, short term, and long term.
Ooh, yeah, baby, son of a bitch.
Another thing remember is when you need to remember
Okay. Ooh, yeah, baby, son of a bitch. Excuse me.
hair happens to many women for a number of reasons. At Kitsch, our best-selling rice water protein shampoo and conditioner bars are packed with nutrients like amino acids and vitamins that promote healthy hair growth. Learn more at myhitch.com. Worry you could be really bad, but for too long, outdated 80 muds have been obsessed with your plan. Giving you new thought to the start, but starts in the brain before anything even pitches. That's why we need the first bean net that works on both brain and body, with sildenafil and tadalafil to help optimize your body's natural response. And apomorphine to complement the reaction in your brain.
All right. Are we sounding and are we echoing?
Menopause really impacted my hair. I experienced postpartum shedding, and Nutrafol had a formula for that. My hair has changed throughout my life, so I'm grateful Nutrafol has a product targeted for whatever I'm going through.
Booger bread. Are we echoing?
A close friend of mine has got
think we're just getting feedback crap from the phone.
Good evening, viewers. I'm sober off in for Chris Hayes. Once again, we are going to killing of right-wing activist Charlie Kirk. Later this hour, his wife, Erica, will be delivering her first public remarks. Now, keep an eye on that, but earlier today, we learned that 22-year-old Tyler Robinson has been arrested in connection with Kirk's murder. Robinson's father suspected that his son was responsible following the shooting, and the father then contacted a family friend minister who notified the police. Utah Governor Spencer Cox says law enforcement also investigators believe Robinson to his roommate, in which he is said to have discussed the suspected murder.
The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact type, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop hole, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where the rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being renewed.
So this is ongoing investigation. Governor Cox says he believes the suspect had been alone. Police are not searching for another suspect. At this time, Robinson is set to be formally charged on Tuesday with the expectation that the charges could include aggravated murder. As of right now, Robinson's suspected motive remains unclear. Investigators have recovered bullet cartridges engraved with a number of ideologically incoherent phrases and ironic internet memes. One of them contained the phrase "Hey fascist," catch, followed by a reference to video game. Police say that a family member told them that Robinson had become increasingly political in recent years. But the New York Times reports he was not affiliated with a political party. Voting records suggest he did not participate in the 2024 presidential election. That was the first election he was eligible to vote in. During an interview today, President Trump rejected the notion that political violence is an issue across the ideological spectrum.
We have radicals on the right as well. We have radicals on the left. People have are watching all of his videos and cheering.
Yeah, there's something going on with the
How do we fix this country? How do we
the audio is not coming out of the right mic.
But I couldn't care less. The radicals on the right oftentimes are radical because they don't want to see crime. They don't want to see crime. Worried about the border. They're saying we don't want these.
What we need to do is get that one thing turned off.
We don't want you shooting our people in the middle of the street. The radicals on the left are the problem, and they're vicious and they're horrible.
Control
and
panel.
they're politically savvy.
Again, from what we know, there's no
Sound.
indication at this time that the gunman was any kind of politically motivated left-wing radical. The BBC reports his
Let's see,
parents
headphones
are
or
registered
the
Republicans. He seems to have been raised around guns
game.
and referenced internet memes and video games quite a bit.
Browser.
Mark Santia is an investigative correspondent for MSNBC, and Randy
Music.
Zabrowski is a senior reporter at MSNBC, where she covers the internet and disinformation
Enable that.
and many other
System
subjects they
wave.
join me. Now, Mark, what's the latest on this subject?
Jacob, right now, the
Voice
22-year-old
chat.
suspect is in custody.
Auxiliary 1.
Under close watch in Utah
Web
jail.
auxiliary 2.
Suspect
Speakers.
reported
Video
he's
broadcast ready.
back to the line. 22-year-old
Disabled, 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 disabled.
Casey Technical College in Utah. He was never a student at the
That's
university
all disabled,
where
but
Charlie
there
Kirk was
isn't.
killed. As you mentioned, the suspect's
What was a camera that was supposed to be in here? Is that recording? I'm on, yeah, it's on the other one.
He talked to a minister. They facilitated
Mic in.
turning himself in. And Jacob, according to the FBI, they're going
That's
through more than
the
11,000
effects.
tips and leads right now. They're still trying to dig. and
Wavelength
build this
monitor,
case.
I don't know if that's
Complete
wavelength
profile.
stream.
Sources were telling us complete that profile. The suspect,
Microphone,
possible motivation,
bio disabled,
and again,
disabled.
continue to build that case.
And it seems that
Disabled.
That was right last night, but then he wasn't formally
So,
charged until
disabled,
Right,
unplugged.
so he's being held on probable cause.
Excuse me, yeah, thank you.
You're right.
It is not the one that's not. God, what a fucking piece of shit.
He was held overnight on the press conference this morning.
Brady, what's happening online? What do we know about this guy, Robinson's
What do you think about this?
He was 22, and so
It's probably sounding fine now to me, but I can't listen to music.
Find out all that we could want about
fucking
a
piece of
person's
shit.
motivations, their ideologies, their history. Times are changing now, and so because
Okay, well, it's not that, it's just-
who attempted to kill Donald Trump and Butler, they don't have the same kind of digital footprint. They're
I need to
And so we know very, very little about this person.
turn off what you guys hear.
We know he was on Discord.
Think in
Discord came out and gave a statement saying that he wasn't
if I turn off
on Discord, he wasn't in
the mic for myself,
actively involved in Discord as we would think it might like
so I do that. I do that.
So we just don't know a lot. What we do know a lot is from his mother's social media footprint. His mother has a long history of posting to
And
Facebook.
then-
And what we know from that is that he was one of 3 boys, the oldest of 3 boys.
Okay.
4.0 through high school.
Are we getting-
Got a scholarship to college. He got a 4.0 on his
It certainly sounds a lot better.
Seemingly gifted, smart, going places, and part of a real life.
I'm gonna try something here.
family that does-
Bada 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 bada.
We expect the charges on Tuesday. What's going to happen?
It certainly sounds a lot better.
Tuesday afternoon, 5 o'clock.
I'm gonna try something here. Bada 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 bada.
For the safety of everyone,
It certainly sounds a lot better.
We're told so there's not going to be a transport ban, there's not going to be movement, it'll be sort of in-house, if you will, just again to limit movement, which is not something uncommon.
Well, I just
cases.
don't have that.
Initial booking charges, Jacob, he's been arrested on suspicion of aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm, and obstruction of justice. But again, this case, it wasn't a finish line, this was a start line. This is the next phase of the investigation. So they're going to continue working, investigators will continue working from the
That's how it
beginning.
works.
And charges could change
All
come
right.
Tuesday.
Let's talk about ideological motivation. I guess, I mean, my question for you is...
Gotta figure out why that's not working, though.
This is a very, very, very early stage of this investigation. He doesn't seem to have such a big digital footprint. It doesn't seem at this point that there's a clear ideological motivation, but that could change.
Yeah, I mean, we have some clues, right? But like, you can't, as Governor Cox said, you can come to your own conclusions today. And it's like, actually, no, you probably shouldn't.
Right.
You really should wait. What we know are, as you mentioned, what he wrote on the bullets, what he engraved on the bullets. And those engravings are very much internet speak in a way that, for people who watch these spaces and watch these things happen, have come to realize and come to recognize those internet speak, that meme speak, as associated with these sort of mass shooters before. And usually their ideas are aligned with the far right. That's what we've seen just from Christchurch and from the Buffalo shooting where 10 people were killed in a supermarket. But very, very recently, again, we just saw a shooting in Minnesota at the Minnesota church in which those weapons were...
That thing is just insanely picking up stuff that it shouldn't be there.
Nothing, right? These nihilistic nothing matters. And that's not, I mean, that is an ideology, but it's not a left and it's not a right, and so it's hard to explain.
After all of this backwork yesterday with the FBI and Cash Patel in particular putting out these tweets saying that they had a person in custody and a person police in custody, and all this was announced this morning with the president on television, FBI does seem pretty confident now they've got the right guy.
Yeah, Jacob, I think just and they sort of showed their hand a little bit at the press conference today. They obviously held back on a lot of information, but between the video evidence, they say they've collected the evidence on the campus.
Okay.
They say pulled up in a vehicle. They have that. They also have interviews with friends and family. They have the roommate who they've been in contact with. So interviewing people between that and the weapons they've recovered, the shell casings they'll be analyzing. At this point, I agree. It seems very safe to say the FBI is confident they have their person.
All right, Mark Santia, Brandy Zadrozny, thank you both very much. You're going to stick around. I'll see you after the commercial break. But I want to bring in Michael Feinberg, a former assistant special agent in charge for the FBI. Michael, we talked about all of this as it was unfolding last night. As of last night, it seemed like the FBI didn't have any leads. Then the suspect's family turned him in. How do you interpret, how were you watching how this all played out over the course of the last 24 hours?
Look, I'm second to nobody in my criticism of FBI leadership, but from everything I can see, the workforce, the line agents and analysts in the Salt Lake City field office did their job and did it well. What understand about a lot of investigations like this is that you have to cast unbelievable. I guarantee you the first line agents and analysts of the office is having to invent a learning process. And when you do those interviews, when you selectively release information,